found sales after I moved up to Utah from San Diego about 16 years ago, 2007. And I was dirt broke and I didn't have the best high school GPA. And by not the best, I mean like maybe a 1.2. I never took the ACT or SAT. I didn't have a car. I was selling my plasma just to be able to pay rent and lift tickets. Life was kind of bleak, and I hadn't really my choices prior to this point in my life hadn't really teed me up for great success. I was evicted my first go at being an adult and was homeless for a little while. I goofed off a lot in school, missed a lot of school, and yeah, life just wasn't that great. But for some reason it occurred to me, maybe because I kept running into sales recruiters up here in Utah, but whatever the reason was, in my mind, it seemed to me that sales would be an opportunity for me to not only catch up, but get ahead. And it seemed that way because sales didn't care about my past. Sales never asked for my resume, didn't ask for a high school transcript, didn't care that my parents were divorced, didn't care that I was homeless for a while. It didn't care about any of that. All sales really seemed to care about was how hard I was willing to work and how far outside of my comfort zone I was willing to walk in order to be successful. And I realized that hard work was the great equalizer. If I was willing to outwork my peers, I could not only catch up, but get ahead. And the thing that I thought was awesome about that was hard work was something that was completely within my control. I had 100% control over how hard I worked. And so that's what I did. I just worked my guts out, and I benchmarked against other sales reps in the company and in my office. And I looked at how many hours per day they worked, how hard they trained, how in it they were on the doors, because two people can go knock and they can put in the same hours, but definitely not the same work ethic. So I compared myself and I pushed. I looked for those opportunities where I smacked against that wall and wanted to quit, and I pushed through them to become a better, stronger person. And eventually work ethic took me everywhere I needed to go. It took me to earning more money I'd ever earned in my life, to consistently making a healthy 6-figure income, to clearing 7 figures in a year. I've made millions and millions of dollars over the years that I've sold. It's given me experiences independent of the money. I've traveled, I've made relationships, I've been able to invest, buy real estate, duplexes and Airbnbs. I've gained skills that I couldn't have gained any other way. It's just changed every aspect of my life, and I have work ethic to thank for it. So I'm going to give you 3 quick tips. These are tests or questions you can ask yourself to figure out if you're employing a strong enough work ethic to get where you want to get. The first is, are you turning today's limits into tomorrow's standards? We have a hometown hero here in Utah. His name is James Lawrence. He has the world record for most Ironman races completed in a single year by a single person. It was called the 50-50-50. 50 Ironman races, which if you're not familiar with an Ironman, look it up. It's like the marathon of triathlons. He did 50 of them in 50 different states in 50 consecutive days, back-to-back days. He set the world record. Now here's what's interesting about the story. Who do you suppose had the world record before James? He did. He already had the world record for most Ironman races completed in a single year. So what would possess a person who's already number one, who already is on top, to put themselves through that level of pain and misery when they're already number one? Well, James explained that he exists to push and explore and find the limits of his human potential and then go past it. He wants to take what's impossible today and make it a standard for tomorrow. That's what drives him. The best sales reps in door-to-door that I know view the job the same way. They don't actually look at it like a job where they make money. They look at it as a gym. to build their character, to build their emotional resilience, to build their persistence, their tenacity, their fortitude, to become better people. And after 15 years, I can tell you the doors will provide all of the resistance that you need to become the best person that you possibly can. The doors are like those weights that you're ripping the muscle fiber. The doors are gonna rip the fiber of your character, your persistence, all of these things to make you a better person. So that's tip number one. Are you turning today's limits into tomorrow's standards? Are you taking that wall and blasting through it when it's 30 minutes after dark and you still don't have a set or a deal, but you had a goal and you're pushing, you wanna go home, but you force yourself to do the work anyway and you become better for it? Tip number two, are you employing a ridiculous and sickening work ethic? Will Smith is probably one of the highest paid and most talented and greatest actors in Hollywood. He has had a phenomenal career. Started out as a rapper, 18 years old, making millions of dollars, transitions to movies, sets the record for most back-to-back billion-dollar blockbusters. Incredible, incredible actor. Most people describe him as talented, but he doesn't. He says, I've never really viewed myself as talented. Where I excel is ridiculous, sickening work ethic. While the other guy's sleeping, I'm working. While the other guy's eating, I'm working. The only thing that I see that is distinctly different about me is that I will not be outworked, period. It's such a simple, basic concept. The majority of people are not achieving the things that they want strictly based on hustle. How would people describe your work ethic? Oh yeah, John, his work ethic, yeah, it's respectable. Ew, respectable? No, that's not for you. Ridiculous and sickening work ethic. That's the brand that you need to be known for. Tip number three. Are you working at a pace to achieve 10x your goals? If you haven't read the 10x rule by Grant Cardone, read it. In it, he says that most people underestimate the amount of work necessary to accomplish their goals by a factor of 10. So if you want to hit your goals, what you need to do is 10x them, work at a pace to achieve that, and you're guaranteed to hit your goals. If you want to make $100,000 in sales your first 12 months, 10x it, $1 million. What do you need to do to make $1 million this year? If your goal is to make $1 million in sales, what do you need to do to make 10 million? Seriously, what do you need to do? Go figure that out. There's probably not enough hours in the day to do it just through personal sales, so you're gonna need to expand your influence. You're gonna need to recruit. You're gonna need to leverage the talent and passion of other people and help them be productive and make money there as well. Go after that target and you're guaranteed to hit your goals. So again, just to recap, work ethic will give you everything that you want and need in life. As long as you're taking your limits, today's limits, and converting them into tomorrow's standards, as long as you're employing a ridiculous and sickening work ethic, and as long as you're working at a pace that would be necessary to hit 10 times what your goal actually is.